I'm going to give you guys some, going to give you guys some updates on a handful of things here. See if I silence notifications and actually not take an incoming phone call for like 5 minutes, which is probably be a record at this point. Anyway, sorry, I want to give you a quick update as we're on sort of the run up to Quakertown, just touch base on some of the myriad of things that we've got going on with the coalition. As you can tell by the fact that I'm continuously interrupted by phone calls and text messages and stuff. We got a lot going on. Talking to a lot of people around the state, a lot of energy, a lot of activity. So just to touch base, I'm going to run through kind of a list of things that we got going on that I think should be mentioned. This is certainly not exhaustive. This is just things right off the top of my head that are major things we got going on that you guys should be aware of. First of all, Andy Meehan is okay. I think we're still live. I'm getting warning messages flashing up here telling me that the connection is popping in and out. So hopefully we're still live. Andy Meehan, Right for Bucks, and some of his folks are taking point on an initiative to really go through all the bylaws for all the Republican committees in the state, all 67 counties. Why? Because what we have discovered is that there is an effort in a lot of counties anyway to deliberately focus on the patriot movement with the idea of preventing patriot candidates, MAGA candidates, America First candidates, whatever verbiage you want to use, prevent them from gaining traction. Basically, the establishment fighting back against us. In some cases, what they're doing is literally taking what they regard as action to remove people from Republican committees if those people have dared to support anybody other than the endorsed establishment candidate. Now, if you think about that for a second, you get a primary process. That's supposed to be the mechanism by which the Republican Party, chooses its candidates. So if you shortcut that and basically tell people that you can't support anybody but the chosen man or woman, you've kind of defeated the whole purpose of the primary. One of the things that Andy in particular is focused on is that not only is this action wrong, but in many cases, it's completely unsupported by the bylaws. In other words, the party has bylaws, it has rules by which it has to run its affairs, and yet it's taking action that the bylaws don't support. Basically, it's making stuff up. It's presuming to have the power to throw people off the committee for doing things or not doing things. And in fact, when you read the rule book, the bylaws, it's nowhere in there. They're just, again, they're making stuff up. So this is a big deal. Andy needs cooperation from everybody out there, all you Patriot Group leaders, everybody involved. So reach out to us at the coalition. We'll get you in contact with Andy Meehan, Right for Bucks, and he needs help. And to start with, he needs copies of all the bylaws for all the committees. He's discovering all kinds of stuff. It's like turning over a rock, man, and things are scurrying around. I mean, he's discovered that nobody knows what the bylaws are, that there are multiple sets of bylaws and they don't agree. Basically, it's a mess, and yet the party's acting like it's just somehow been granted power from above to take action against patriots. Okay, next thing, Al Schmidt. I've talked about this multiple times. I'm going to continue. Al Schmidt was the guy who was in charge of elections in Philadelphia in 2020. Al Schmidt, singled out by name by Donald Trump as refusing to do anything meaningful to investigate the just stack of allegations of fraud and outright electoral theft in Philly. Guy wouldn't lift a finger. Claims he did. I mean, start with Catherine Engelbrecht and 2,000 Mules and all of the information they had, including video of people stuffing handfuls of ballots into drop boxes. You got a picture of a guy doing something that's blatantly illegal Not that hard to figure out who that is and investigate that and interview that person. None of that ever happened. Al just labeled it all as a conspiracy theory. Al did such a good job delivering Philadelphia for the Dems in 2020 that he literally was given a medal, a presidential medal by Joe Biden after Biden entered the White House. I wish I could say I was making that up. I'm not. As ludicrous as that sounds, that actually happened. Your Republican-controlled Senate just installed this guy, Al Schmidt, friend of Joe Biden's, to run elections statewide in 2024 as your Secretary of State. So that guy that delivered Philly to the Dems in 2020 now gets to run our elections in 2024. And it is a Republican-controlled Senate in Harrisburg that did that. Point man on this, Chris Dush, whose committee voted to send to the floor this nomination. Okay? The only person on that committee, Republican or Democrat, who voted to stop this guy from becoming Secretary of State was, of course, Doug Mastriano. I literally told Dush to his face only a few days ago, if I took a poll in the Patriot movement, the last guy on the planet anybody would pick to be Secretary of State would be Al Schmidt. And you guys installed this guy to run our elections. So all I can tell you is what I've told you before. You need to raise hell. You need to call everybody out on this. Okay, you can see online where I'm posting continuously about this, posting links to who's on the committee, but you could start with Chris Dush from Jefferson County. All right, Dean Klopp and his guys down in Coreyville in Brian Cutler's district. These guys are continuing to do God's work. They are out all the time. We're posting notices on what they're doing. They are calling out Brian Cutler, Lion Brian, for all of the garbage he has done in Harrisburg for years with the goal of educating his constituents and basically prepping the ground for getting rid of this guy. They're doing amazing, amazing stuff. If you're anywhere in Brian Cutler's district, near his district, near Coreyville, again, we're posting about this all the time. Dean Klopp and his guys, his crew, you need to get in on this. These guys are having a massive impact. Brian is very upset about this, which makes me very, very, very happy. Get in on this. Help him out. Okay? What Dean's got going is what we call a working group, which is a working group targeting incumbents in the legislature and prepping the ground and beginning the effort to unseat them, to get rid of them, to clear out the dead wood and put in people that will represent us. Dean Klopp and his guys were first out of the blocks. We have another working group standing up in Luzerne County, targeting multiple legislators. I don't want to say any more about that just yet, but just understand this is happening around the state. We're in conversation with folks in Erie about doing this. We're talking to folks all over the state. If you're focused on an incumbent and you want to get rid of him, get rid of her, talk to us. We're trying to do this statewide. I mean, we are tired of asking these people to do things and having them tell us to drop dead. If you won't get on the right side of this, we're going to get rid of you. That's where this is going. Last thing I'm going to say, Quakertown, this Sunday, having a big event. This information is up on our Facebook page, website, everywhere. Big event. Doug Mastriano is going to be speaking. I'm going to be emceeing. A lot of fantastic speakers like Tony Shoup and Bill Allen, but we're also going to have great music. We're going to have food, drink. This is a get-together, camaraderie thing. Enjoy yourself. But more than anything else, it's okay, this is what we're going to do now thing. This is not just complain. This is what we're going to do concretely to change the situation in the Commonwealth and in the Republic. You want to be there. It's a fantastic venue. It is a lawn. Bring chairs. Those of you who are old hands at Patriot rallies know the drill. Bring your folding chair or whatever you're going to sit on. It's going to be great. It starts at 1:00 in the afternoon. Quakertown at the park. Again, the flyers are up on our Facebook page, up on our website. Okay, before somebody else calls me and I get dragged off to another conversation, I'm going to sign off, guys. I'll see you in Quakertown.